Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear, or favor. The Teacher Trainee Association of Ghana has called on government to immediately suspend the ongoing teacher recruitment exercise, citing what it describes as unfair and distressing conditions for trainee teachers. At a press conference, the association listed the suspension as part of 5 key demands it wants urgently addressed, warning that failure to act could trigger nationwide demonstration. The Teacher Trainee Association of Ghana argued that the limited number of vacancies, about 7,000, has worsened the situation for many trained teachers who have remained home for years without employment. The group expressed particular concern over what it described as a troubling precedent in recruitment process where 3 separate year groups are competing for the same 7,000 slot. This situation has deepened the woes of teachers who have been at home for years, the association noted, adding that the current arrangement risks sidelining many qualified graduates. The Teacher Trainee Association of Ghana further warned it will not hesitate to mobilize its members across the country if government fails to halt the process after the expiration of its ultimatum. The association is also urging government to engage stakeholders and implement a fairer distribution mechanisms that reflect the growing number of trained teachers entering the system each year. So all this boils down on unemployment in Ghana. Unemployment. It's quite sad, for you to go to school for 4 years and then completing school for 4 years and you don't get employed. I mean, any graduate who is freshly admitted in school, the only thing you have in mind is to study hard, graduate, get the best grade, and then get employed. But in a case where you go to school for 4 years and then after that you don't get employed, I mean, it brings a lot of frustration. You don't even know whether you are moving forward or you are retrogressing. And trust me, if you don't have parents that understands the system in which we find ourselves, if you don't have parents that understand how difficult it is of late to find a job as a graduate from the university, you are going to die before your time. I'm telling you the truth. You are going to die out of frustration and out of depression. The most funny aspect is that they don't tell you the truth when you get to the university. No teacher will tell you the truth. That is very difficult out there. It is after you are done graduated and then you hit on the street to look for a job. That is where you understand how difficult it takes to get employed in Ghana. Employment issue, it's something that should have been in the past. Unemployment shouldn't be something we should be talking about now that we are old. Ghana is 60 years, right? And I'm 69. So Ghana is 69 years and we are still grappling with unemployment. We are hitting our heads on the walls trying to get a solution for unemployment. We shouldn't be talking about unemployment. You see, sometimes I find it quite sad when I see our people. Okay, so let me tell you one thing. The government is in collaboration with other African, not only African countries, the Western world as well. And then what they do now is that since we don't have the capacity to employ a lot of people, especially the health workers. So this is what they do. They pick people that are eligible. You write some tests and then when you are qualified, they send you outside the country to work with other countries, other firms. That tallies your profession, especially with the health sector. They do that a lot. I think recently I saw one too. That Ghana is in agreement with other countries where they transport or they take out our health workers to other countries to work. And that is the main reason why a lot of graduates, when they are done with school, they want to travel. Why? Because they see opportunity in other countries. It is only here that we struggle to get a job. So it's simple. If we've realized that we cannot employ graduates any longer, then why do we admit more than we are supposed to take? When you go to the university, 1,000 plus in one lecture room, sometimes 2,000 plus. And then we have about millions of students graduating each year. You pay for fees, you pay for your hostel, you pay for your handout, practicals you have to pay. When you are being given assignments and it involves you collecting data and surveying, you have to pay for it yourself. Sometimes we have students traveling to other villages just to collect data. You pay for it. And then you go through all the struggle. The most painful aspect is you writing your project work at level 400. You can even die if you are not careful. And then when you are done with all this, you don't get employed. And then you are in the house. You don't even know what your life is about. Like you are confused. And then only for you to get an assurance from the government will say that they are employing 7,000. Which means that if you are being in the house for 3 years, so this is what they are saying. Someone that completed school, say in 20. So let me not just go too far. Maybe 2023, 2022 will now be competing with somebody that graduated in 2025 for the same slot. For the same slot. And the most painful aspect is that we have schools that are struggling to get a teacher. And one teacher is taking like 6 courses. We have teachers who go to school and then they are trained based on a subject. And that is common when you go to the senior high schools. We have a teacher that is so for mathematics, English, social studies. But when you find yourself in a school where they are struggling with teachers, you just need to sacrifice. And so you see that one teacher teaching all subjects from crèche to P6, from P6 to JHS3. And he's doing that alone. So we have a lot of schools that are struggling for teachers. Why don't we want to employ them? Now we are saying that we don't have the money. We don't have the money to employ them. That is what they're trying to say. We might employ you, but would you be happy if we employ you and you don't get paid? No. So the best thing we can do is that we are going to employ based on our capacity. So what happened to the rest of the teachers who wouldn't get employed? And don't forget that out of this 7,000, part of it will be protocol based. And the question still remains. What of the remaining teachers who wouldn't be paid? Does it mean that their life has come to a standstill or there are still other alternatives? This is something that we need to deal with once and for all. If we know we can't employ graduates as simple as ABC, then you give notice to all these training colleges or universities. Maybe in a year you should admit like only 100 students, 200 students. Then we know that is based on the capacity of the government. And for me, I will not stop saying it. As a government, you have no right to tell us that you can't employ us because you don't have money. Or you don't have money, is he saying? It is your responsibility. Just like the way a child see no reason why his or her dad to tell her that Miniska or daddy buy me biscuits and you're telling me you don't have money, like how? You need to buy me that biscuit. That is the mindset of a child. But they have no idea the parents has to go to struggle and all that. As a government, it is your responsibility to create enough jobs to employ your people. So if the jobs are not being created, it is on your shoulders. You need to do it. The more you create the jobs, the more you employ the people. We are increasing. The population is increasing. So it should tell you that if Ghana we used to have a population, say 1 million or 1,000. We are now in a different era. And then people are giving birth. You cannot tell somebody to give birth to 1 or 2. I know you're on any decision. So it should tell you that the population we are increasing day in, day out. And so long as the population is adding up, we need to also upgrade and then create more jobs to suit the population. But when we don't do that, then what are we saying? What are we doing? Well, for me, then you have no reason to tell me that you can't create jobs. You need to create them. That is your responsibility. And so long as you create them, you employ the people and you pay them. Why do we go to school? Because we want to acquire knowledge. That's nice. But we also go to school because we want to improve the condition of our living standards. If going to school doesn't pay, I'm not sure we'll all enroll to be in the classroom. So please, let's do the needful. Thank you for making time with me on the Bill.